Good afternoon, everybody. We are continuing on with the marketplace tutorial. And because I'm trying to hustle up and get through this tutorial so that I can start working on the tutorial game plan that I put together and put out yesterday, I went ahead and pre-built this page before I started recording and took care of a lot of the stuff ahead of time. And I'll walk through what I did, and then I will also expand upon that and build out some stuff while I'm recording. So let's go ahead and get started. What we did yesterday in the last tutorial is I believe we went through the onboarding process. We got all that set up. We did the setup profile, and after a person registers and then comes in here and let's open that up. Oops, that's not where I want to open that up here. And then set this up also so that they can open up a seller's account, which takes them to create market step 1. And we went through the creating of the market pages, creating a market name, a description, and then assigning a photo, which I think I would like to change the background on this. My color scheme is not here. Let's see. Well, let's just do it. I shouldn't have gotten off track here and started working on this. But I'm already here, so let me take care of this real quick. Okay. All right, sorry about that. Kind of got off track there. But anyway, that's what we set up, and I think we ended at the seller dashboard, which is here. And so again, I went ahead and set up a lot of this ahead of time. So I'm going to go ahead and walk through from top to bottom what I've done here. So the very first thing is I set a page level query to the markets collection as a single document. And the filter I set to the owner reference is equal to the authenticated user. That way it's showing the authenticated user their dashboard. Okay, and then I can make a reference point for these various things to information within that document. And then also I set up a page level action. So on page load, I set the condition to is seller. If the authenticated user is a seller, then nothing happens. They stay on this page. If they are not a seller, then they're going to navigate to the home page, turn back navigation off, and set the transition type to instance so that there's no delay. And that way, why I did that is the home page is set as the initial page because, again, the app does not require that app users have an account to view products and view marketplaces. So the initial page is the home page. The logged in page, however, I've set as the seller dashboard because first of all, you can't set the logged in page and the initial page as the same page. It'll throw that error. So it has to be something different. And it makes sense for it to be the seller dashboard because sellers primarily aren't going to really be browsing the marketplace. They're going to be worried about, selling their products. So having the logged in page direct to the seller dashboard makes sense. However, if the logged in user is not a seller, then we don't want them to stay on this page. So we set that page level redirect to send them to the home page. And we set the transition type as instant so that there's no delay or issues that occur. It'll immediately pop them over to the home page before any of the other page level actions or any of the other queries or anything inside this page occur, so that it does not result in an error or a gray screen. Okay, so that's what I've got initially set up there. Now, this button up here directs to an end drawer. I haven't set anything up on that end drawer yet, but that's going to be an additional menu for the seller. And then down through here, I've got these two boxes which came with this pre-made page by Flutterflow. And I set this box as an earnings box. So this will show the seller's total earnings since the beginning of time, since they started. So every time they sell something, it'll update there. And then I set this field to update to the current date, so that they can just see what date it is, and that's their current earnings for the current date. And then over here, I decided, I know whenever I first talked about setting all this up, how you could pass on fees so that the app creator could make money, and you could pass those fees on to the buyer or to the seller. And I decided, for the sake of this tutorial, I would actually pass the fees to the seller. So this will show their total fees that are owed, and we'll go over how the fees are accrued and how that's going to transition. But anyway, that is linked into the market document and shows the total fees due. And then this little box here is says pay now, and that's really just an indicator. It's not actually a button. The entire card or container will be a button. So I've got those two things linked up, but I don't have any actions or anything set yet. Then we go down here, and I have this container, which is a new seller tip menu. Basically, you can set up your market and use these tips to quickly set up your market so you can start selling faster. And so this pops up here for new sellers. We've got a progress bar that shows how far along they are in completing these tips. I haven't assigned any actions to these yet. That's something we're going to go over in this tutorial. But I have built them out, and I have 4 of them. That's number 1. Number 2 is add an item. Number 3 is customize shop. And number 4 is get verified. And I have set conditional visibility to each of these. And that conditional visibility goes back to market, so that user's market. I have tip 1, tip 2, tip 3, and tip 4, and they are true-false statements. And so each of these, for conditional visibility, currently it is visible if tip 1 is set to false, which all of these by default will be set to false. When they complete each one of these tips, it'll change that over to true, and each box will disappear as they go down the line. This is a row, and it's scrollable, so they can swipe left and right and go through those. And then the entire box here, I don't want that to, once they complete all these tips, I don't want that box to remain. I want it to disappear, so I set it as conditional visibility, and I set a multiple condition statement using the OR statement. And the statement is if tip 1 is false, or tip 2 is false, or tip 3 is false, or tip 4 is false, then this box will be visible. So if just one of those remains false, the box will stay visible. Once they are all set to true, this entire box will disappear. And then the progress bar up here, I have the tip completion, which is a percentage that fills up the bar itself, the blue part. In my markets document, I have tip completion. It is set as a double. I also have, we'll get to that. We've already done that. Tips completion is set as a double. And so for the progress bar itself, it's assigned that tip completion. And then for the writing in the center, which actually shows the actual percentage, I also have that set to the tip completion, and then the number format set as a %. And those things will be updated as they complete various parts of the tip tutorial. All right, so that's all of that in a nutshell. And then down here, I have a new orders list view. So whenever a seller gets a new order in, they will show up here. That list view query is querying market orders. Market orders is obviously a sub-collection of the market, and so the variable parent source is the market document. And I have a list of documents. I set the limit to 100 because I don't want to do infinite scroll, because again, infinite scroll just has some quirks to it that doesn't necessarily work the way that I want it to. And so I just set the limit at 100 for now. And then I set the filter order fulfilled is equal to false. So that way, these are new orders that haven't been fulfilled yet, and until that is updated to true, they will show up here. And then the order by, I did date order placed, is increasing. That way, the oldest order will show up at the top, all the way down to the newest order. That way, an order that is the oldest order doesn't get skipped over and forgotten. We don't want the newest orders to be dropping in at the very top. Otherwise, if you've got 100 orders and you've got an old order at the very bottom and new orders keep coming in, that old order may never get fulfilled. So hopefully that makes sense. All right, so that's how I have that set up. And then of course the container itself, maybe not the container, let's see where I put that in there. So I think I put it in the text. So let's go here first. So this is referencing that market orders document. Total order value, number format is decimal, and then $sign. So that's how much the total order value for whatever that order is that the customer placed. I set the date that the order was placed to a relative format, so it'll show that it was placed like a couple minutes ago or an hour ago or yesterday or whatever. And then down here in this text field, that's where I set a document from reference query. I chose the user's collection, and then I went into my market orders document and I selected customer account, so that'd be the person that placed the order. And so now I'm getting the customer's information for that order. And then in the actual text field itself, I put their display name. Rather than putting their first and last name, I just put their display name. Their first and last name information will be acquired when a seller taps on this box to open up the order. And then this button, which currently is not doing anything, but this floating action button, this will be used to create a new item or add a new item to their shop. So that's what we've got going on. This is how I've got all this set up for the seller dashboard right now. And then, like I said in this tutorial, what we're going to go over at this point, we'll probably touch on this later. So we're going to leave the in drawer alone. We're going to add actions and functionality and pages for these tip options here, and update the progress bar and change the true false variables and whatnot. So this is going to be the main section that we're going to work on right here today. And if we have time, we'll move it to some other ones, but just get focused right here. So the first one that we will work on here then is the setup payment. Now, again, if we were really going to do a real marketplace app, then we would have various options for how they could accept payment. But for the simplicity of just kind of working through this app, the only option that I'm going to allow is Cash App, which we will be using deep linking on Cash App to kind of show how that works. But what I want to do then, and I do need to go over here and make sure, Cash App ID, okay. So we wanna go ahead and set this up so they can plug their Cash App ID in there. So I'd probably just make it real simple, just do a pop-up bottom sheet for that. And then assign an action here to open that bottom sheet. I'm not going to worry about any of that, but I am going to push the market reference over there. Okay. So now I have that, so that'll open up that Cash App ID page. Just put that in that folder there. And then for this, I'm just going to make it really, really simple here. I'm going to do a whole lot. And then we would let's go ahead and add a form in there and use that. And I think Cash App IDs start with a $sign, but I don't want the user to put a $sign in there. I want that to be pre-filled. So let's put a container in here. Let's see here. And then we could do I want to try to decide if I want to make that container really do anything. I mean, I could. I don't think it'll look very good, but we'll try it anyway. Actually, I'm going to put that right here. And then I'm not going to worry about the form field. I'm just going to do a row. Okay. All right. And let's go to my row here. Drop icon in there. Actually, want that at the beginning of that row. Oops, that's right. And then might just do something simple here. Let's see, autofocus alone there. Okay, we'll just leave it as an underline. Okay. And let's see here. All right, that'll work. Sufficient. Okay, so then actually bring that down just a little bit more. And I guess, I don't know how I really want to set this up. I'm not overly concerned about it, to be honest with you. Because we just need to plug this in here so that we have something to work with. That's what I want. Okay. All right, that'll work. All right, so that's what we want there. Bring that up some. Okay, so they'll enter their cache ID there, and all that's set correctly, and autofocus is turned off, and they can dismiss this box too. It is not set as a non-dismissible. And then let's go ahead and apply our action here. I'm going to do an update. I'm going to update my market reference. And I'm going to find my cache app ID field here and update it from that text field. And then we will dismiss the bottom sheet and give a snack bar. Come on, man. And we do need to update here as well. And that's going to be tip 1. So we're going to set that to true. Okay. So, all right, so once they do that, it'll update that and that box will disappear. Okay. All right, so that's good to go for that side of things. And then, so now we need to work on adding an item to their shop, which obviously they can do that here, and they can do it here. Which I believe, I want to set conditional visibility on this. Yeah, I kind of want them to do it from there. So that would be tip 2. So long as tip 2 is true, then this button will be visible, but so long as that's set to false, meaning that tip 2 has not been completed, this button will be invisible. All right, I do need to, let me go back over here real quick. And go back in here. So actually, no, we'll just leave that alone. That's fine for now. Okay, so that's good to go. So we need to move on to add an item then. So for adding an item, I think what we'll do is we'll just create a full page here. We'll just start from a blank. And let's put that in the seller pages there. And we'll do that as the background. And I wish I need that yellow yellow color that I've got in other places here. It's not in my palette anymore. Oops. All right, and then we can that, change the font. All right, and of course we want to add a back button here. And then I think I'll do this over here. That's right, it's defined. It's actually oh, that's not what I meant. Okay. All right. So for the item, so just gonna keep this pretty simple. Let's see what we got here. Item name, description, quantity available, price, and primary images. Okay. So we'll just go ahead and create a form. of course, put a column in there and drop text field in. And let's see here, let's do this. Okay. I think I actually will shrink this up just a little bit more. And then I'm going to just duplicate that. And we're going to do item description. I do want to turn autofocus off. I'm going to leave it on for item name, but I'm going to turn it off for this one. And we'll set that to multi-line, and then we're going to set the max number of lines to do 4. All right, and then let's do a row. Set that 16. Space evenly. Put a field in here. Okay. That's not what we want. Actually, just leave that alone for now. Okay. I don't know why I put those periods out there. Kind of doesn't look right. And just change that to number with decimal. And then in that row, also want to add actually, let's add a column over there to the right. Now we're going to let's do I don't want that so much. Okay. That'll work. And then I'm just going to throw some text in there. And we'll get a count controller for that. Okay. So that's how I'm going to set that up. I think that'll be fine there. And then we want to enable them to add images. So I think what I'll probably do for that is just put a row in here. Come on, right underneath there. And then just going to duplicate them. Space evenly. I may actually drop that down just a little bit more. And then we can set the filler image here. Oops, that's not what I want to do. Back up real quick. I want to upload media and set that to Firebase, and we'll allow camera or gallery for that. We'll show the snack bar. And we'll do the same over here. File URL number 2. And then lastly, we'll do this one. File URL number 3. Okay, so I'll let them upload photos there. And I believe that's it. Oops. Yep, that's all. Okay, so just a very simple form. And then of course, when they're ready, do a save action. And the first save action that we will do, we'll create a document, and we will do market items. And of course, the parent reference doesn't look like I pushed that over from the last page. I probably haven't even set up that navigation action. So let's go back to the seller dashboard and add an action here to navigate to add market item. We will allow back. I'm going to slide left on that. I'm going to pass the market reference over there. And we actually want to do the same thing. Let's go ahead and set this while we're working here. I'm going to set it to this button as well. Come on now. There we go. Make sure our reference is still in there. Okay. All right, so it's good to go. And now we can go back here. And we can finish setting up our action flow. So now we got our market reference that we'll assign that to. And we're going to go ahead and drop all these fields in here. just go through and set all of these global properties. Be current time, item name, be widget state from our first text field, item description from our second text field, and quantity available will be from our count controller. And our price will be from our price box. And primary image, file 1, subimage 1, file 2, subimage 2, be file 3, and then we'll leave that turned on and leave it to false. Okay, it's all good to go there. So let me actually open this up here. And I do want to update my market reference here. And I want to change tip 2 to true. And I realized on that last button that we set up, which we need to go back to, something I don't think I did. I need to set tip completion. And I'm just going to set, well, no, I do want to increment, just in case they work on these out of order. So I'm going to increment, and I'm going to increment it by 0.25, so that it'll complete 25% of the tip menu that's available for the new seller. And so I need to assign that to each of those tip completions, so that when this is switched over to true, that it also increments the tip completion progress bar by 0.25 or 25%. That's good to go there. And now we can do a navigate back. That's a new feature. Okay. And then we'll do a show snack bar. Okay. And I'm actually going to add another action here, and this is going to be for push notifications, which we'll set up later. So all that should be good to go now. Okay. So now they've got an item in there. Let's go back to the seller dashboard real quick. And I do want to change this here. I need to go in here and do tip completion, and I need to increment that by 0.25. 25%. Okay. All right. So that should be good to go. Okay. All right. Good to go there. Okay. So we've got that set up now. Get that off the screen. I do want to look at something here. Thinking about what I want to do. I need to add an action in here, conditional. So if they are a seller, because that's not, it's not going to work here. Okay. Sorry, just thinking out loud. I'll explain what I was trying to do there, but it won't work as a page level action. So we'll come back to that later on. All right, so we got that taken care of for setting up adding a new item from the tip menu. So the next container down the list is customizing shop, and so that would bring up the menu option of where they can change their shop description. I'm not going to allow them to change the shop name. I'm going to leave that set, so they're not going to be able to do that. But they'll be able to edit their banner photo and their shop description, as well as change the colors of their shop. So that's the next thing we need to work on here. So for this one then, I guess we'll just go ahead and create another page. And honestly, I think I'm just going to copy this page and work from there. So I'm just going to duplicate that. And then I do want to drop it in here and change it to just do edit market settings, and we'll change this to just leave it like that. And then of course we're not going to let them update the I'm not going to let them update the market itself, or the market name, sorry. But we do want to let them update the description. And I need to look here. And I set that to 4. So I want to stay consistent with that. And let's go back to the seller dashboard. Let's go ahead and link over to that. Customize shop. Do a navigate to, let's see here, edit market settings. We will allow back, we'll slide left, and we'll pass market reference. Okay. All right, and then we can go over here, edit the market. And I want to do a back-end query and get document from reference on the market. That page parameter here. And then I want to go ahead and set the initial value to the market's description, since they already set that up. And then they can edit that if they want to. And then we can get rid of this stuff here and get rid of that. All right, and then let's go ahead and move this down some, get that out of my way just a little bit. And I'm going to add an image in here. And I'm just going to expand that to infinite, drop it down some. Actually, you know what I'd rather do here is actually want to do a stack and then put my image in there. And then I want to grab that stack and I want to do, just do a row, push that over to the right, and we'll drop it down just a little bit here. And then we'll do an icon button. Actually, we won't take it off the edge. Leave it over there. And we'll move it up some more. Not too far down. And we can finish setting up our action flow. So now we got our market reference that we'll assign that to. And we're going to go ahead and drop all these fields in here. And we'll just go through and set all of these global properties, be current time. item name, widget state from our first text field, item description from our second text field, and quantity available will be from our count controller. And our price will be from our price box. And primary image, file 1, subimage 1, file 2, subimage 2, be file 3, and then we'll leave that turned on and leave it to false. Okay, it's all good to go there. So let me actually open this up here. And I do want to update my market reference here. And I want to change tip 2 to true. And I realize on that last button that we set up, which we need to go back to, something I don't think I did. I need to set tip completion. And I'm just going to set, well, no, I do want to increment, just in case they work on these out of order. So I'm going to increment, and I'm going to increment it by 0.25, so that it'll complete 25% of the tip menu that's available for the new seller. And so I need to assign that to each of those tip completions, so that when this is switched over to true, that it also increments the tip completion progress bar by 0.25 or 25%. That's good to go there. And now we can do a navigate back. That's a new feature. Okay. And then we'll do a show snack bar. Okay. And I'm actually going to add another action here, and this is going to be for push notifications, which we'll set up later. So all that should be good to go now. Okay. So now they've got an item in there. Let's go back to the seller dashboard real quick. And I do want to change this here. I need to go in here and do tip completion, and I need to increment that by 0.25. 25%. Okay. All right. So that should be good to go. Okay. All right. Good to go there. Okay. So we've got that set up now. Get that off the screen. I do want to look at something here. Thinking about what I want to do. I need to add an action in here, conditional. So if they are a seller, which that's not. It's not going to work here. Okay. Sorry, just thinking out loud. I'll explain what I was trying to do there, but it won't work as a page level action. So we'll come back to that later on. All right, so we got that taken care of for setting up adding a new item from the tip menu. So the next container down the list is customizing shop, and so that would bring up the menu option of where they can change their shop description. I'm not going to allow them to change the shop name. I'm going to leave that set, so they're not going to be able to do that. But they'll be able to edit their banner photo and their shop description, as well as change the colors of their shop. So that's the next thing we need to work on here. So for this one then, I guess we'll just go ahead and create another page. And honestly, I think I'm just going to copy this page and work from there. So I'm just going to duplicate that. And then I do want to drop it in here and change it to just do edit market settings, and we'll change this to just leave it like that. And then of course we're not going to let them update the I'm not going to let them update the market itself, or the market name, sorry. But we do want to let them update the description. And I need to look here. And I set that to 4. So I want to stay consistent with that. And let's go back to the seller dashboard. Let's go ahead and link over to that. Customize shop. Do a navigate to, let's see here. Edit market settings. We will allow back. We'll slide left. And we'll pass market reference. Okay. All right, and then we can go over here, edit the market. And I want to do a backend query and get document from reference on the market. That page parameter here. And then I want to go ahead and set the initial value to the market's description, since they already set that up. And then they can edit that if they want to. And then we can get rid of this stuff here and get rid of that. All right, and then let's go ahead and move this down some, get it out of my way just a little bit. And I'm going to add an image in here. And I'm just going to expand that to infinite, drop it down some. Actually, you know what I'd rather do here is actually want to do a stack and then put my image in there. And then I want to grab that stack and I want to do, just do a row, push that over to the right, and we'll drop it down just a little bit here. And then we'll do an icon button. Actually, we won't take it off the edge. Leave it over there. And we'll move it up some more. Not too far down. And then we'll change the icon here. Just going to do an edit icon. And change the color. And then I'm going to do an upload media. And I'm going to do gallery only. Set that to Firebase. We'll show the snack bar. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and add another action to update my market. Do market, actually, let's grab it from here. And our banner image. Set that to the uploaded file that they just created. And that way I'll just go ahead and automatically update that, and then we can set this to your banner image here. Okay. Alright, so that'll take care of that. And let's move that up some. Okay, so now they can edit their description. Let's jump over here to markets and see what we've got here. Obviously, we want to do the colors in just a second. Okay. Alright, so we'll go ahead and add the colors in then to be able to edit those. So for that, just going to go ahead and drop another. I don't want to drop it in there. And I'm going to bring that down some. And then I'm going to put a row. Pop that in. Put some text in here. I do want to drop some text into, not there. Let's go over here real quick. Do edit market theme. So I'm going to set this to architect's daughter here. Move it up to 18 font size, and we're going to change this over. Whoops, over to the other font that we've been using here. And let's go ahead and move that down. It's a little much. Okay. So market background color, and then we can let's make that a little bigger here. And then I'm going in this row, split end to end. I do want to move that into 20 as well. And I'm going to put a container in here. I'm gonna shrink that down some. Okay, that'll work. And we'll give it a bit of curvature there. And then I'm going to set this to the markets market page background color, and then it's default. I believe the default we set, where's that at? Market front. So it is that blue color. All right. So that's It can show up well in that background. So I think even if we'll just go ahead and give it some elevation here, and then we'll set the default, which I want to do that just so I can see it. I need to grab it here first. It's not in my palette anymore. Okay. And then then we'll set the variable fill color here to market page background color, and then we'll set the default variable to that. And so that stands out a little bit more. I think I am actually just going to change the background to this. It's the whole page. Yeah, we'll do it like that so you can see it better. It looks better anyway. All right, so now we can add an action. So when they tap that color swatch, I'm going to do an action here. Let's go ahead and open this up. And we want to do the color picker. And then the primary, I actually want to set that to their background color, which would also be that. And we'll just leave that as it is. Yeah. I'm not going to change any of that other stuff, and I am going to turn that off. And then once they pick their color, let's go ahead and update the market document. And market background color. And we'll do it from variable, and we'll go to the widget state, color picked. I can actually copy this here. All right. And then let's duplicate that. And this will be, what do we have that as? Market page text color. Okay, so I went ahead and just paused the video and took care of that since it was just repeating the actions from here. So now those are reflecting correctly. So all that's set up, so now we just need to do the save action, which we don't want to create an item, so we can delete that. We do want to update, we want to change tip 2, change that to tip 3. Change that to true. And then the tip completion will increment by 25, so that's correct. And then we'll navigate back and we'll show snack bar. And we don't want to do anything beyond that. Oh, I nearly forgot. Whoops. Where'd it go? We do need to set the description here. Text field. Okay, there we go. All right, so that's good to go. So now that'll update all of that. So now we're on to the last box here, which is the get verified box. Bring them to field of view here. So we've taken care of the first three, and so now we need to do the get verified, and then that'll be the last step for this tutorial, because this one did go on a little longer than I had anticipated. So for the verification process, if I were going to be doing this for a real app, I would probably use Google's OCR API to do like an image verification type thing and have them upload a picture of themselves alongside of their ID if I wanted to go that in depth to it. But we're not going to work with any APIs in this, at least not with Google's APIs. We are going to be working with Ship Engine, but that's about it. So for this process, what I'll probably just do, since I really don't want to go through setting up all that, then I'm just going to do just an alert box, I think. Yeah, that's pretty much all I'm going to do. An alert dialog. And then let's go ahead and open that and finish the update of the tip menu. Which we then set tip number 4 to true. And we can increment the bar if we want to, but it's going to be invisible here in just a second anyway, so this would be more for internal purposes. I believe that's it that we need to update on the back end here. Okay, yeah, that's it. All right, so that's taken care of. So anyway, we've gone through all of these then. We've set up actions for all of these containers and then applied actions after they go through each of these so that it will change the visibility, and also this entire box will become invisible. So that section is taken care of. I think I'm gonna just kind of, for the sake of ease here, just do a multi-condition. I'm gonna do tip 1 and tip 2. Oops, that far down. Tip 3, and then we'll do tip 4. And I'm going to leave that statement as an and. So tip 1, tip 2, tip 3, and tip 4 are all true, assuming that they've all been completed, they're all true. Then I'm going to allow the drawer to open. If that variable is not met, then I'm going to just pop up an alert dialogs. And then just letting them know to finish the tip section first. before they can access this menu. All right, so that's good to go. And then I think since I am going to block that off, originally I was going to do something different here, but since I am going to have that, so they have to finish this in here first. Let's do this. And I don't really like that. Yeah, do it as that. Okay. And then I'm going to set this as a navigate to the home, so the main market. Don't want to do a navigate back. And we're going to set it as a scale, 400 milliseconds. All right, so I believe all that looks good there. So we're good to go. Make those the same size here. There we go. All right, so all of this is good. So that's it for this tutorial. In the next tutorial, we will then be going over setting up all of this stuff, setting up the menu over here, and setting up the customer side, and just kind of working our way through it. So, all right, y'all take it easy.